Many years ago, there lived a man called Chief Odera who had this business charm that everything he touched turned to gold. Life was going well and he was just committed to building a business empire out of making unique jewelry. He rose to one of the best in that industry. He had 2 sons and many domestic as well as business hands. He lived in opulence without arrogance. The 2 sons, Nedu and Amma, were married with children and all lived within the same mansion with their father. Their mother, Madam Odera, had died a few years back. Odera and his late wife tried to raise responsible men out of their sons, but it was as if the more they tried and desired, the more the young men disappointed their expectations. Nedu and Amma were interested in the business, but not committed enough as their father desired. Chief Odera was advancing in age, and the issue of transfer of chairmanship of this business was looming. One day, Nedu, who is the first son, spoke up to Chief Odera. "Papa, isn't it time to let me run a major part of this business while you take more rest, if not outright retirement?" Chief said, "Nedu, you are very ambitious, but sadly, you don't put your energy in the right direction. Instead of doing what you ought to do, instead of learning and handling the business responsibly, you are busy putting your energy on inheritance. Inheriting an empire you contributed little or nothing to building. You are not measuring up to that level of responsibility I expect of you. Why is it important to you who becomes chairman after me? Building and expanding the business have never been your quest. It is inheriting the empire that you are consumed with in your imagination. Anyway, you can see I'm not tired. Please wake up, be responsible." Nedu left unhappy. He went to his wife Bosa to complain. His wife supported what Chief said and said, "We all work at this business empire at different levels, but there's a depth of commitment Chief is looking for. It is that responsible commitment that would launch someone almost naturally into the headship of this empire. My darling husband, I believe Chief means well. A committed servant, and I mean one of these servants around the house, would build the empire better than a son who inherited the business without commitment." Nedu said, "But I have been committed. I have been working hard. Yes, sometimes I fall out with my little brother, in fact a brat, the one called Amma, who is trying to usurp my position as the heir, the main inheritor of the business empire." Bosa said, "Nedu, let's face it, if you are as committed as you ought to be, you wouldn't be bothered about your position or headship of the business empire." Nedu said, "Well, the problem with you is that you are always supporting Papa, always siding him. I am the first son, and everywhere you go, it is the first son that inherits whatever there is to inherit. Even in most written wills, most of the property goes to the first son." Bosa said, "We are looking at this from different lenses, and somehow we ain't seeing the same thing. We ain't on the same page. I don't fully understand Papa, but at least I understand a bit of what he wants. And over time, if you remember, we have had this conversation and it ends the same way. You become unhappy when I share the truth with you. One thing I think you must keep in mind is, I don't ever dream or think that Papa would hand over this empire to me. So, whatever I say is never to put you down, or for me to rise above you or be seen as better than you. I am not in any way feeling competitive with you. I only point out what I think would help." Nedu said, "You're always preaching, Bosa. I want to go out. I'm feeling suffocated here." Bosa said, "It's time for your smoothie." A servant walked in bringing in 2 glasses of smoothies to them. Soon, Amma went to see their father's lawyer and said, I am aware that Papa is writing a will. You are the one holding the pen to do the writing. This block of gold is yours. The one thing you have to do is make sure the will is bent in my favor. You are aware that I will do a better job than my brother Nedu in managing the business. You do remember I have global business and leadership certificates from different Ivy League schools. The lawyer stood up and said, Look at my head. Are you seeing the white on it? I didn't do this kind of wickedness when I was younger. I have served your father for decades now. He trusts me with his life. What would I do with your beautiful heavy block of gold? It enters my hand and weighs my heart down, and I would be among those that go down in history as thwarters and generational criminals. Think of it. Whatever I do now, whatever secret changes I make now to favor you, so-called, would not stop with you. You become the next chairman by my pen, not by the will of your father, the owner of the business. You become a chairman, not because you have all it takes to be that, but because my pen made you so. An empire built on lies and deception is programmed to collapse within a few years. Please, enough of this. Amma said, but this is your opportunity and your family's opportunity to participate deep in the wealth of our business empire. If you do what I told you, you would not only have this gold, which is worth 100 million naira, but I will make you a part owner, a partner in our empire. Thank you, but no, said the lawyer, Mr. Fajemi. Even if you give me the entire empire, I will not deviate from doing what your father wants. Goodbye. And he walked away. It was Chief Odera's birthday, and the whole family gathered to celebrate him. Amma presented him with a Rolex watch worth millions of naira. Nedu presented him with a 115-year-old bonsai tree, and he said, Papa, my gift is this bonsai tree that is 115 years old. This is to signify my wish that you live a very long life and continue to provide leadership and guidance for our business empire. As soon as he finished eating, Chief Odera said, I have an important announcement to make. He invited one of the servants, a girl of about 28 years old named Ifeanyi. He said, Today, Ifeanyi ceases to be a servant because she has become my wife. He took a beautiful 1-in-a-century expensive jewelry and placed on her neck. There were whispers on the table. It was his late wife's jewelry. His sons, especially Nedu, were pissed off. While they were making faces, he invited his lawyer, Mr. Fajemi, who was at a standby, to bring the papers. He signed as husband while Ifeanyi signed as wife. Chief and Ifeanyi left for the bedroom. Ifeanyi said, Chief, I am afraid of your sons. Chief said, You have become my wife. I am here to protect you all the way. Do not be afraid of them or afraid of anyone. Nedu was very, very angry. He reasoned and said to his wife Bosa, Lady B, have you seen what this old man has done? How could he take so young a wife and a servant for that matter? A girl in her 20s that we pay as a servant girl. Why? Why would he marry a servant? What makes him descend so low? And to crown it all, he took Mama's necklace to give to her and placed it on that little girl's neck in our presence. What insult! Bosa said, Nedu, my love, the issue of love is intricate. Sometimes love doesn't really understand nor recognize social status. It seems to reach out to and attract the heart. A heart connection could happen between a top man like Papa and our servant girl, Ifeanyi, who has been here for just 4 years. My dear, I may not be excited about his choice, but look at it from this other angle. Is there anything that makes Ifeanyi less a human being or less a woman, except that she didn't have the opportunities we both have or had to make advancements in life? There's actually no difference between me, your wife, and Ifeanyi. I only had more opportunities. She maximized the little she had. She's a servant, wearing uniforms like the rest of the servants, but she caught the heart of Papa. Maybe her inner qualities couldn't be covered by mere uniform. Nedu said, Bossa, you are always bringing up this kind of thing in Papa's defense. Do you know what this means in the business world? That a national and even international figure like him would descend this low? Bossa said, we are all human beings. He didn't descend to marry a goat. We are all equal. More money and more opportunities may make you look higher or better, but it is only in your mind. You are able to buy and provide more things that Ifeanyi cannot. But that's all. The difference between us and Ifeanyi is we have more money and more things. Nedu said, I beg, it's enough. I am going to see that old man now. Nedu opens the door to see Chief Odera and Ifeanyi in a hug, looking into each other's eyes. Then Chief said, Nedu, I have always told you to knock before entering my apartment. Nedu said to Ifeanyi, I need to talk to my dad. Excuse us. Ifeanyi left immediately into the bedroom. Nedu said, Papa, why did you give your new wife Mama's very expensive necklace? Why on earth would you do that? Papa chuckled and said, Nedu, I bought the very expensive necklace for your mom. It is my property now that she is no more, and I am free to do with it what I please. Nedu fumed. You have no respect for mom, none. And he walked away. The next day, Amma came to Chief and asked, Papa, when would you go on holiday to rest with your new wife? A kind of honeymoon while we take care of the business. You can trust me to take care of everything perfectly. Chief said, don't worry, I don't want to travel yet. This palace is good enough for us. Nedu is angry with their father. He's angry with Amma. Amma is angry with his father and angry with Nedu. Amma hates almost everyone except himself. He's ruthless towards the servants. He kills at the slightest provocation. And unfortunately, he has the police in his pockets. Amma wants to be the successor of their father. Nedu too wants to be the successor. They each feel entitled to the position. One evening, Amma went to his father's sitting room and pretended to be talking with him. His dad got up to go and ease himself and came back. The moment he sat down and took a sip at a drink he left at the table, he started coughing out blood. Amma left immediately. By the time Ifeanyi came in, Chief was dead. They did a small ceremony and buried him. That was what Chief always requested, a small burial ceremony. Everything seemed to be in disarray. Amma called Ifeanyi privately and said, Ifeanyi, I want you to leave this place immediately. I will give you 50 million naira if you agree. Ifeanyi refused. Everyone wanted the will to be read. On the set day, they all sat around the table, including Ifeanyi, whom they had forced back to be a servant again. She didn't quite mind because Chief told her a few things which none of the children knew. Nedu said to all at the table and to the hearing of the servants who were standing around, we are family. No matter what Papa has written in the will, as would be declared here today by Mr. Fajemi, let us all accept it. So the lawyer read, 20% of the company shares would go to Nedu, being the firstborn, 5% to his wife, 45% to Amma, and 30% to his wife. And 500 million naira cash goes to Amma's wife, Nse, also. This was like a bomb to Nedu. He was furious. But Amma reminded him of what he said at the beginning, that everyone should accept the outcome of the reading of the will. Nedu stalked off. The now new president of the company decided there should be a big party for him. Amma is that vain. While thanking the guests towards the end of the party, someone walked in. It was urgent. His only child was involved in an car accident. He was driving while drunk, and he needed a heart transplant urgently. In a few minutes, he was at the hospital with his wife. They were told that their son, Chidi, is number 15 on the waiting list for a heart. Chidi's mom said, "We have all the money but can't even help our son now." Busa's father is a doctor in another hospital and would be able to help. He can solve the problem if reached. Nedu approached Busa with a plan. "Sweetheart, this is our time. Your dad can help Chidi, my nephew, with a heart transplant, right?" Busa said yes. "Why?" "Let's reach out to them with this. You will go to Nse, Mama's wife, and tell her that your dad could do the heart transplant immediately if and only if she would give you all her shares in exchange. She gives you and you give me both hers and yours, and that automatically makes me the highest shareholder and chairman of our business empire." Busa said, "This is so transactional." Nedu said, "Please don't be a clog in my wheel now. Just do as I said." Busa went to the hospital to see Nse. She told Nse, "My dear, we could help with this heart transplant. In fact, my dad could do it today. I will reach him as soon as you agree to it." Nse felt grateful and said, "Thank you so very much. You are amazing. It doesn't matter what has happened, but we are family." By the time she ended her outpour, Busa said, "Yes, my dad would do the transplant on one condition, that you would transfer all your shares to me." Nse hesitated and said, "Okay, my son's life is more important to me than anything in this world." She got her shares and gave her in an envelope, having done everything necessary to do the transfers. Busa collected it and raced to Nedu. Nedu was excited. 2 days later, he walked up to Amma and announced, "Now that I have majority of the shares, you would do well to vacate the office of the chairman by tomorrow morning." Amma laughed and said, "How do you mean? Did you not hear well when the will was read?" Nedu said, "Your wife, Nse, has transferred her shares to us." Amma laughed even more. Oh. "Oh, really? Oh, is that your cheap bargain? You're always a loser. I've been telling you, but you don't hear. Nse transferred her shares to me a week ago. I made her do so. She only had 1% left in her name. That's what she gave you." Nedu was mad and left. He opened the envelope and there it was, 1% shares for Nse. He burnt the paper immediately. Nedu is angry at everything and everyone. The heart transplant has been done already. Amma sacked him from being a part of the company at all after this intrigue. Nedu hatched another plan to eliminate Amma this time. Everyone suspects that Amma poisoned Chief. Police got every evidence pointing to Amma, but police is in his pockets and therefore Amma went free. Nedu hired assassins to go kill his brother and his driver on their way back from a trip. Amma had killed the elder brother of one of the assassins, so they were ruthless in dealing with Amma and his driver. Now Nedu is automatically the chairman of the company. One day he called Chief's lawyer. The lawyer said he was outside Nigeria, that Amma gave him a ticket and a visa and everything to leave Nigeria and never come back. Even gave him a house in the US. It seems obvious why. Nedu said, Amma is dead and buried now. We want you back, please. The lawyer said, Amma gave me the will to read, and if I didn't, he would kill me. And even after reading, he banished me to the US. His name wasn't even mentioned inside the original will. Nedu said, do you still have the original will? Mr. Fajemi said, yes. Bosa walked up to Nedu and said, I want to leave now. You are far too selfish for my liking and inhuman. I want a divorce right away. Nedu said, do whatever pleases you. I don't care. Nedu went to Amma's wife and started hitting her and breaking Amma's photos on the wall. He shouted and hit Nse as being a part of the conspiracy in swapping of the will. The lawyer, Mr. Fajemi, came back and brought the original will. He read it to the remaining members of the family. Chief willed everything to Ifeanyi and whoever Ifeanyi gives birth to. Nedu went ballistic and stood up and started shouting at Ifeanyi. As he was shouting, the police arrived to handcuff Nedu for killing his brother Amma. Wow. All for inheritance. The business empire built by their father. They hated their father for demanding better commitment and better behavior from them. They were busy chasing shadows, not caring about the rudiments of the business. They wanted to be in charge of what they knew nothing about, all because of the huge wealth the business holds. They wanted huge harvests without sowing any seeds at all. And they wanted the harvest by all means, even if it would cost lives. They even killed their father to take over the business empire. What do you think of Nedu and Amma? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Also, please encourage us to roll out more African real life stories by giving this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. Yes, please remember to click the bell icon so you would be among the first to know when we upload another very interesting story video. And please share our stories with your friends and family. Till our next video, please remain truly amazing. Goodbye.